Hey guys! Well, today's video is a little bit different because first of all, I'm sitting on my couch, so that's kind of random. I was just sitting here kind of enjoying the sunshine, and it's just such a nice, beautiful day outside. And I've had kind of a crappy start to the day. And I was thinking about my day and I was like, maybe I should just make a video and share with you guys kind of what I went through, because maybe some of you are going through it or have in the past. And it might be able to help you, or maybe you could relate to it. So instead of just being stuck inside my own head, I decided to make this video. So today started out kind of on the crappy side because I had to go in for a mental evaluation. And if you've been following my channel and watching my videos for any length of time, several years ago I made some videos about what a psychological evaluation was all about and some of my experiences with that in the past. But some of those videos I think now are on private, and if you're relatively new to this channel, then you might not have seen them in the past. The reason that I needed to go in for an evaluation is because some of you may know that this past January, the new healthcare reform law passed. And that meant that a lot of people who previously were uninsured or were low income were now able to get insurance. And that insurance not only covers health insurance, but mental health as well, which is really good because I haven't had insurance that covered anything mental health wise in a really long time. So I haven't been to the doctor in a long time, and I haven't seen a counselor or gotten any kind of therapy or been on any kind of medication for any of my issues for a long time. So I decided recently that I kind of needed to stop putting it off, and now that I have insurance, I should just make some appointments. So I did make a doctor's appointment, and they want you to come in if you're going to a new doctor or if you haven't been to the doctor in a long time. It's really good to get a physical done, which is just like a checkup basically of your physical health. Sometimes they take blood. For me, they do because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. But for some people, you know, it's just kind of taking blood pressure and things of that nature, just checking kind of your symptoms just to make sure everything's working correctly. But if you go in for, you know, if you try to make an appointment to be seen for counseling or to receive any kind of medication, maybe for mental health reasons, sometimes they require you to go in for a mental evaluation as well as a physical evaluation. And sometimes these go by different names. They might call it a mental evaluation. They might call it a psychological evaluation. They might call it an intake exam. They might call it an intake appointment. There are several different names for it, but normally they do sort of the same thing. And basically what this is for and why they do this is because they want to make sure that they can kind of treat you properly. And to do that, not only do they need your previous records, but they need to see maybe what you're struggling with now. And that is not only to maybe place you with a counselor that specializes in maybe what you're going through, but also to know maybe what kind of medications you might need if you're going on medications, or what kind of treatment or whatever course they're going to set you on. So this could be helpful for doctors or for counselors, or any kind of benefits you're applying for, or any kind of services you might need. So there are a lot of reasons why people go in to get these evaluations, and there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean that you're crazy if you go in for one. It doesn't mean anything. It's exactly the same as saying you're going in for a physical, for your physical health. It's just a mental health one. And it is scary though. I totally get it. And I know some people, when they think psychological evaluation, I mean, with me and my anxiety, of course, it just makes me fear, and it makes me just start to panic, and I just don't even like the thought of it, even though I've been through them before. But I thought maybe if I told you a little bit about what it's like, if you now have insurance due to the new healthcare plan, or if you're getting insurance, or if you're just too scared to make an appointment because you don't know what this entails, maybe this will help you kind of let you know maybe what you're in for. Now, not all experiences are the same, and not all the places that you go will be the same. but it's kind of general. I've heard from a lot of different people in a lot of different places that are similar to what I experienced today. So first of all, go in for the appointment, and they basically start out the appointment just asking you about yourself, and they ask you, you know, how do you currently feel? Do you feel like you are struggling with anything right now? Do you have any problems? And I know that's kind of scary, but you don't have to go into a lot of detail with this. You can just say, and like I said, I was very honest and truthful, and I just said I currently struggle with depression, and it's been an ongoing thing, and they ask how long, and you tell them for how long, and then I said, well, I do also have anxiety and social anxiety, and they ask, you know, when did that come on? What are your symptoms like? You know, is it around crowds? Is it a certain thing that triggers you? What makes you panic? Or and so, you know, you can just be honest and say crowds, or you could be certain situations or certain people, and then they'll ask you related questions. They'll say, is that, you know, have you ever a lot of times they will actually come out and ask you if you've harmed yourself in any way, like cutting, burning, things of that nature, which obviously I've self-harmed in the past, and so you have to be, it's better to be honest. You know, it's not very comfortable talking about these things and admitting these things to people, but you have to remember that these people are professionals. They are psychologists. They have gotten their degree, and I can guarantee you, with the amount of people that they see, that you're just a drop in the bucket. You're probably not going to say anything that's going to shock them, because they've seen so much and they know so much, and out of all the people that I've ever seen, nobody has ever seemed really shocked by anything that I've said. So they do ask you, but they don't, they're not invasive. They don't ask you, can I see where, you know, where you've self-harmed, or ask you really invasive questions. And if any doctor ever does that to you, not your primary care doctor, but like a counselor or a therapist or someone who's doing an exam like this, you have the right to say no, and that is not okay. Some people think that they just have no choice but to maybe talk about things they don't want to, or to do things they don't want to, but I promise you, just because they're there to evaluate you does not mean that you have to answer questions that make you uncomfortable or anything like that. So they do ask you those things, and they ask you sometimes if you're feeling suicidal or homicidal, or you know, if you experience different types of things. They ask you, you know, what's your daily routine like? What do you do from the time you get up to the time you go to bed? What are your hobbies? Are you in a relationship? Do you have friends? Things like that. And they're just asking you these things to kind of gauge just kind of how your daily life is. And, you know, if you struggle with anxiety or depression, they can gauge better how severe it is by maybe some of the things that you tell them about your day, or how it affects your life. So there's a reason behind everything that they ask. Then they go on and they do ask you some things that some of you might feel are unnecessary, and sometimes I do too, but I understand why they ask them. It's kind of like an IQ type test. It's not measuring your IQ, and there are no right or wrong answers, but I think they want to check your memory and your focus and your attention, and kind of your cognitive ability. So they will ask you things like, what month is it, what season, who's the president, who are the last 5 presidents, can you repeat this sentence back to me? Can you spell this word backwards? Can you count backwards from 100 in sevens? Can you draw this on a piece of paper? And I think they're just trying to see how you are in stressful situations, and also kind of just test to make sure that you're not suffering from some kind of cognitive problem. And, you know, a lot of people do suffer from focus and attention deficit problems, and that's totally fine and normal. And there is no right or wrong answer, and that to me is the most stressful part, just because I always think like, okay, am I taking too long, or did I say that wrong, or did I get the answer right or wrong? Because I don't like feeling like I'm being tested. It's just something that triggers anxiety, but I know it's worth it just to get it over with. And that is pretty much the basis of what they do. After that, you know, they just say, is there anything else you want me to know? Anything that I should put down in your report. And the reason that they're usually taking notes or typing into a laptop or something while you're talking, the reason why is because they're there to basically write up a report on you, and this can be forwarded either to your primary care physician or your counselor or therapist if you're either have an existing counselor or therapist, or if you're going to get a counselor or therapist, or to any office where you may be applying for insurance or any type of benefits or any type of assistance or anything like that. So they're basically, their job is to kind of diagnose you in a way so that maybe your doctor would know what path to take with getting you help, or just things of that nature. You know, the circumstances are varied, but they do have you sign a disclosure. And usually this happens before they even start talking to you. And it basically says that everything that you say in the appointment is confidential, and it will only be shared with whoever you're intending it to be shared with. Meaning for me, it was a social worker. For you, it could be a social worker, a counselor, your primary care physician, your therapist. If you're in treatment, your treatment center, etc. The only thing that they add on there, they say the only way that they would share your information is if you were a danger to yourself or to others, meaning if you were suicidal or homicidal. So you don't have to worry that what you say is going to be public record, or that they're going to share it with anybody. If you are under the age of 18, you might want to double check with them that they might not be able to tell your parents. I'm not really sure if your parents would get a copy. I never personally get my own copies of these things. They just go to the doctor, but you can request them if you want to. For me, sometimes I'd rather just not see, but some people would like to. So anyway, that is the gist of it. And I'm glad that I got it over with. It was a little bit stressful, and I don't like getting it done. I don't like facing my problems or my issues or talking to complete strangers about things that I'm going through, but I know it is important, because if I do get placed with a counselor or go into some kind of therapy, that this will be important for them to be able to see these records and know kind of where to go. And when I go in for my doctor's appointment, which I haven't yet for the physical and stuff, I am going to talk to them about anxiety medication and whatnot. So this will help the doctor to see that I maybe have been diagnosed with anxiety and things of that nature. So I know it's scary, but just be truthful and honest and go in there and think that you have the right to say no, you have the right not to answer a question, and the ball's in your court. Nobody is the boss of you. You can choose. So I hope that helped someone out there if you're going to be going through this. If you have any other questions about it, feel free to leave me a comment below, or if you've experienced something totally different than that in an evaluation of any sort, please share in the comments, because I definitely like to read them, and I know it really helps other people to discuss and read what other people have been through. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you so soon. I hope that your weather is nice, and if it is, please go out and enjoy some sunshine for me. It'll make you feel better. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.